Well, as you know, just speaking in general about air quality, the NAACP was ready to sue the company Shintech. They were going to operate this plant in Plaquemine. And as you know, if you drive to Baton Rouge and you take that left there and you drive into the chemical alley, so named designated chemical alley, I drove into that portion of Louisiana and I had trouble breathing once I got there. And you can see the smoke billowing. You can see the hazy conditions around it, and you have people who actually live there and raise families in that area, and that air quality is some of the worst in the entire nation. So Louisiana has had that problem for a long time. You have had cancer clusters discovered in Louisiana, right outside of Baton Rouge there. And environmentally, nothing much was done in the Edwards administration, of course, but even after Edwards left and before Edwards came in, nothing was done. So the state of Louisiana in general, because of business and industry, and this is the Republican mindset, but it also bled down to Louisiana, which is what is good for industry, what is good and helps the oil industry in Louisiana is good for the entire state. And they don't really look at the air quality standards and what happens as a result of that. As you well know, Louisiana leads the nation in cancer statistics.
Right.
And there's a reason we lead the nation in cancer statistics, but no one wants to talk about that. We just want to let the situation exist as is because the oil dollars, the chemical and the petrochemical dollars are coming in. So as long as they're rolling in, everything's fine.
Now, speaking of oil, we were talking about this earlier this week when we were both at AOC. Oil prices went down this week, and I think they bottomed at $128.
They did, indeed.
What's going on? What's going on now?
In my opinion, it was a threat to the short sellers, the speculators. There's a threat that Congress is going to shut them down. They're going to really go after them hard. There's also a threat that they're going to go after the oil companies and pull a lot of these tax breaks. So as I've said time and time again, and give him the credit, and even though he's not my favorite guy, Bill O'Reilly, of all people, have talked about this. When you put pressure on them, it's a shell game being played. You'll see these oil prices drop. Anybody with a brain should know this is not about supply and demand. The Saudis had it a little bit right when they said it's not a supply and demand problem. We have enough oil on the market. And even if they didn't have enough oil on the market, George W. Bush could have done what he did a year and a half ago when the oil prices spiked. And he literally back-channeled, and this was reported widely, talked to the Saudis and other OPEC members about pumping more oil on the market. Now, why would they do that? Why would they care about what we say? Well, we're linked with an agreement that dates back to the Roosevelt administration, which basically said to the Saudis, you keep that oil flowing and we will protect you. And also in major oil-producing countries, Oman and Qatar and Saudi Arabia, you have what parked down in there protecting them? American troops.
Yep.
So we certainly could get them to spike it. Here's why.
Hey, John?
Yes.
Not to cut you off, I have 3 minutes. I have another call. Voices is on next Sunday. Who you got?
Voices is on next Sunday. We will try to have Ricky Hardy.
All right, sounds good. And I'll look forward to seeing you then.
All right, take care.
All right, have a good night, John.
Yes, sir.
All right. Caller, you're live on 124 East Main. Good evening, Z.
Good evening. It's about time for you to get off now, huh?
Yeah, about 2 minutes.
Yeah, one thing I want to make a comment about, you were talking about earlier, the high school officials.
Yeah.
And the shortage right now, that it might go to Thursday games because of the fact that they don't have enough officials. Well, it certainly can't be about the money, because I could name a few schools in the area. By the time they finish paying their officials and by the time they finish paying security, they hardly have enough to run their programs off of.
Well, it's certainly not about money, because as an official myself and being around when checks get signed for high school officials, they get paid pretty well depending on how many years the school and what have you. These guys make at the very minimum $50 a game. So it's certainly not about money. I don't know if it's transportation woes or what else is going on, but for some reason officials are just backing out of it, and they're losing a lot, and they're losing a lot of officials, not just football, but basketball, baseball, softball. There are a lot of officials just giving it up.
Well, now in high school, for example, do they have one standard rate that they pay all officials, or?
No, it depends on how many years and what position you are. Say, for example, in football, a referee will make more money than an umpire. An umpire will make more than a line judge, a field judge, so on and so forth. Same thing with softball. A plate umpire in high school fast pitch, will make more than the guy on bases.
Well, one thing I think they ought to do for those schools that are smaller and with smaller budgets, I think that they should be given better rates than some of the larger schools that can take in the money. Of course, if that were the case, though, very few officials would want to work in any of the smaller schools. They'd all want to shoot for the big schools where the bucks would be big. But I think they need to.
It's not by school. I
know, but I think they need to make some consideration for those schools that can't afford to make the bucks off of the games after having to pay the officials and the security. I see you ready to go off.
Yeah, we have about 30 seconds left. Thank you for your call, Z. We'll see you next week.
Okay, tell Nick hello.
Will do when I see him.
Bye.
All right, bye. And with that, that'll do it for 124 East Main. Apache, incredible bongo band, will take us out. I'm responsible for this program, so blame me. Until next Saturday, good night, everybody.